Hey guys, Alex from Zucchini here from Mr. Build It. This week we're building a mobile printer cabinet. So stick around, I'll show you how I did it. Let's go.
All right out of the gates, I decided to go with a 4x8 sheet of oak plywood from my local Home Depot, usually about 50 bucks a sheet. I only need half of it, so I'm using a track saw to break it down and make it easier to bring on my table saw. Now, I'm part of the Home Depot Prospective program, so we get to check out some of the latest tools. Here I'm using the DeWalt DW745 table saw with stand, $2.99 at the Home Depot, as well as the 20-volt max Bluetooth speaker from DeWalt. I'll put a link down in the description below if you guys want to check out, go for it. Now, for the dimensions, it's really pointless for me to mention the exact dimensions because I made everything tailored to my router, my printer, and the setup that I have. But the overall setup is about 19 inches tall of the cabinet, plus the 3-inch casters, 18.5 inches wide and 18 inches deep. Now, as far as the unique design of this cabinet, I wanted to sit underneath my floating desk in the office, be able to print it at any time I want, but when it comes to using the top scanning part, the cabinet would need to be pulled out. So I wanted to create a custom hand grip for it to be able to push and pull the cabinet out of place and into place. Once I got all my notches figured out, I came over to my bandsaw to create the cut. Now I used my bandsaw mostly because I wanted to create a straight of a cut that I could, that perhaps a jigsaw might not, mostly because I was going to edge band this area. For the inner part of the grip, I created a pilot hole with a 1/2-inch drill bit, fed my jigsaw blade in, and cut the inner parts of the hand grip out. Once I was done cutting it out, I noticed there's a few saw marks left over, so I cleaned them up using a handheld rasp, and then went over all the edges with the 3/8 round over bit with my router. For the general assembly of this project, I'm using wood glue along with 1¼ inch brad nails to secure everything in place. Make sure you have a damp rag along with you to wipe off any of the wood glue squeezing out to kind of save yourself time later on. This is actually the really fun part of the project because you kind of look at all the technology that you have in your office, like your internet router, the USB mic that I have, or perhaps even the Philips Hue Smart Light Hub system that's supposed to be concealed, and now you can create a place for everything. Like I mentioned earlier, we're going to have 3-inch casters on this cabinet. Now, to conceal those casters as much as we can, I created this 2.5-inch wide skirt that will go completely around the base of the cabinet, and the casters will sit and be secured just enough for the swivel to completely turn around and not touching none of the edges on the skirt. Once they were secured, the second feature that I added was an encapsulating cubby for the internet router and the USB mic to make sure it doesn't fall side to side. And the last feature that I really like that I added as well, that's super functional, is a 3-inch lip that sits at the very top of the cabinet towards the back. Essentially, this is the part that the printer butts up against to. So when you pull it out from underneath your desk, it doesn't fall back, and when you shove it back in, it doesn't fall off the side as well. Alright, now that everything's assembled, let's dress everything up with some iron-on red oak veneer edge banding. I'm using my iron to get it nice and hot to glue it on, use a scrap piece of wood to press it in, grab a blade to trim off any excess, and then here is the secret to making sure it's nice, flush, and perfect. Grab a 120 grit sandpaper with a little scrap wood behind to work as a little block sander, and then sand everything smooth and flush. This will make sure that everything is straight, and the board will actually look like one big solid piece of wood. Alright, now it's time to conceal all the exposed brad nail holes. I'm using a product from DAP that has color changing indicator on it, and what that means is once you put it on, it goes on pink, and once it's ready to dry and it's cured, it turns into this like tannish white color. This is super helpful if you want to speed up the process. My only issue with this build that the bottom paper tray would not have anything to prevent the paper from falling off to the side when the cabinet was moved. So I came up with a last minute design where I took 1/4-inch dowels and I cut them to exact perfect tight sizes and wood glue them in a line. Now, they didn't need to hold any kind of weight, basically it's just paper weight, but creating a small fence worked as a perfect guard to keep the paper in place. For the finish, I sanded the project down to 220 grit sandpaper once everything was smooth, and I ensured that all the dust was out of the little cracks, and I got all the glue that squeezed out. I used a tung oil finish. On a rag, just went and wiped it all over the entire project. This is a really easy application. If I was to reapply this oil one more time, I think the one thing I'd do different is I'd pick up a foam brush just because it made it a lot more easier to get into the little nooks and crannies, as well as having a far more saturated piece of material to apply it with. Now it's time to address the problem with the technology and the cables. Every piece of technology that will have a cubby or a shelf has a power cable. Now, to make sure that we create a hole and prevent any kind of tear-outs or blowouts in the plywood, we have to create a backer to it. So all a backer is really grabbing any kind of scrap piece of wood, clamping it down on the opposing side that you will be coming in. So if the drill bit's coming from the back, we'll need a backer on the front and vice versa. After all the power holes were drilled, I installed a 6-port power strip on the back of this cabinet using screws and the included built-in keyholes that it slides onto, kind of like a wall mount. Then I brought everything to my office, installed all the technology, ran all the cables, plugged it into the power strip on the back, and all the loose dangling excess cables, I just secured them with a zip tie. And voila.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I had a lot of fun making this. If I was to redo this project one more time, I'd probably go with something that flakes a little bit less, maybe like a maple plywood instead of oak. Other than that, I had a lot of fun making it. If you're brand new to the channel, we encourage you guys to subscribe. We make videos like this every single week. Like, comment, and share this video with your friends. In the meantime, here's a couple other videos for you guys to check out. Tune out this week. We'll see you guys next week. See ya. Bye.